What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. The weekend is over. It's time for a new week of drama and bullshit. So let me get on with today's bullshit. Um, I have mixed feelings about this episode. I really, really do. I have mixed feelings about it. Oh, Friday. Before I even get on to this shit, let me just say this about the comment board on Friday. I read like every comment on my comment board Friday. It seemed like everybody they kind of they missed what I was trying to say about Connie and AJ. First of all, when I said that they look good together, I didn't mean as a couple. Hell no, I don't want them as a couple. Trust me, I don't. I don't think they're a fit as a couple. Sexually, I said I would like to see them get together. Sexually, as in one night stand. That's it. Just a wham bam thank you man. That's all I want to see, because I think the sex between them would be hot. That's all I'm saying. Couple wise, no. I'd rather him be with Sam. Anyway, speaking of, let me get on with this episode. And some people they honestly think I like bashing Carly. Let me tell you something. Carly's been my favorite for years. Ever since she came to General Hospital, she's been one of my favorites. She was so badass when Sarah Brown played her. And that's what I loved about the Carly character. I have a lot of things about every character that I love and that I hate. The thing I love most about Carly, she's badass. When she goes for revenge, I love her the most. Because her wrath is crazy. She's dangerous. She's like Venom. She's a snake. In a good way. And sometimes a bad way. I love Carly. Don't get me wrong. I know some of y'all don't like her or whatever. I don't really like her that much either. But I love her sometimes. It depends on the storyline. I don't like bashing Carly. But my problem is, I don't take pride in bashing her. But the thing is, she gives me reasons to bash her. Like today, she gave me some reasons to dislike her. A lot of reasons. It's just I have my reasons to dislike her. I don't like bashing her. I really don't. I like Carly. But if you do stupid shit, I'm going to call you out. That's just point blank period. I don't like talking shit about her. I don't like talking shit about Sonny. But it is what the fuck it is. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and, try to defend their actions. No. And pretend like what they're doing is not wrong. No. Hell no. I'm not that type. Anyway, she was sitting at the bar when Sonny walked. Well, she was sitting at the booth when Sonny walked in, and he saw AJ and Connie kissing, and Carly, of course, all smiles and giggles. That shit had me laughing too, though. When Carly was laughing at the booth, when she saw Sonny's expression when he saw AJ and Connie, I was sitting there. I fell on the floor. I was like, Carly, you are a sneaky bitch. Sitting there laughing her ass off with the cup up to her face so you can't try to see her smiling. I'm like, yeah, that bitch was loving it because she thought Sonny was going to whoop his ass. I'm like, Carly, get your life. Have several seats. And this bitch, Carly, going to sit up at the bar telling Coleman her life story. All her problems. Talking about, oh, I got played by two guys. Carly, you didn't get played by two guys, baby girl. You played yourself because of two guys. Because of two guys, you played yourself. They didn't play you. You played your damn self. Let me just come on now. I agree with what she said when she said that she was delusional. That I agree with. And I think she should have said the word naive. But of course, Carly's not going to say she's naive because Carly is Carly. But I'm like, girl, stop, for the love of God. I'm sick of repeating myself when I say she played herself. You know how many times I done said that last week? I can't even count it. How many times did I say it? A bunch. Girl, I'm going to say this one time. Carly, you played yourself. That's the last time I'm going to say that. That's the last time. Carly, I'm just done with her with this storyline. Like, seriously, can somebody please give her a better storyline? For the love of God, give her a better storyline, please. I am so tired of this nonsense. She's sitting there drunk as fuck. Like, she's literally white girl drunk. Like, seriously, and y'all know what I'm talking about. She's hammered. She's like pissy drunk. Not drunk to the point where she about to throw up or nothing like that, but you know, she's pissy drunk, acting crazy, more crazy than usual. I'm like, Carly, go have some seats. Anyway, and Carly was sitting at the bar knocking them back. I'm like, damn, Carly, you fish. Damn, bitch. She drink like a guppy. Girl, save some water for the fishes, please. Save some vodka. God. Anyway, Sonny busted, you know, he breaking up the kiss between Connie and AJ, you know, of course trying to threaten AJ, telling AJ to stay away from Connie. First of all, Sonny, Connie is not a piece of property. She's not your property. Second of all, when you walked in, he clearly saw Connie kiss AJ. It wasn't the other way around. She kissed him. So why are you threatening AJ? And I love the way AJ stood up to him, like, because I'm tired of people acting like they scared of something. You walk around Port Charles with no bodyguards. Ain't nobody scared of your little ass. Sonny's so short. He, you know, come on now. You don't scare nobody. Please, go sit down. Even Franco wasn't scared of you and you try to threaten him. Franco's as crazy as they come and you try to threaten him. Franco, please, moving on. Anyway. Him trying to convince Connie that they're gonna go ahead and take Trey off the ventilators. Here's my thoughts on this. I was all for her not taking him off the ventilators, but now that I think about it and I watched today's episode, there was no chance of him coming back. Absolutely no chance. Because here's the reason why Michael survived the coma and the brain damage and Trey couldn't. Because for one, Michael, everybody knew the character was always going to come back. He's an important character to the show. Trey was a minor character on this show, and the actor was fired, and they weren't going to replace him. So therefore, there's no reason to keep Trey on the ventilator if they have no plans of ever bringing him back. So that's why I kind of agree with the fact that they needed to take him off the ventilators. I changed my mind today. You know, they should have. But at first, you know, I was kind of like, it's so difficult for a mother to do that to her child. You know, but sometimes you just got to come to terms with shit. And I felt bad for Connie. Because people say she don't care about Trey or whatever like that. Yes, she do. Let me tell you something. She was raped. Got pregnant by her rapist. She could have had an abortion with that child. She could have aborted Trey. Never had him. But the fact that she carried the kid for 9 months, that got to mean something to people. I mean, come on, it got to mean something, right? She carried him for 9 months. She didn't have to do that. Yeah, I agree. She left him for dead. I mean, but y'all got to understand the circumstances. I mean, what she did was wrong, but at the same time, you got to understand her position. Everybody kept not understanding her position. You got to understand her position here. You know how difficult it is for a woman to look at the child and see that child's father in that child, the guy that raped her. That's a difficult thing. That's why it was hard for her to raise Trey or stay, you know, keep Trey. Because every time she saw him, she saw the man that raped her. So now you got to understand where she was coming from and why she did what she did all those years ago. And I hope now the people who don't like Connie and say that she's a horrible mother, she didn't care about Trey, I hope y'all understand what I'm trying to say and really see her point in this. And if y'all were in that situation, what would y'all do? I'm not saying what she did was right, but damn, just understand where she's coming from. Anyway, the scenes where Olivia was inside Trey's room and she was talking to Trey and stuff like that, and he opened his eyes and talked to her, I was like, wow, that was a touching moment. That really was. And he was just, you know, letting her know he's okay and you know, everything's gonna be okay, and pretty much giving her the go ahead, you know, trying to give them the go ahead to pull the plug, you know, that he's fine with dying and stuff, you know, that he's at peace. So I think that was a great moment. You know, it's sad, but it's bittersweet at the same time. If, you know, I'm gonna get to why in a few minutes. But when Sonny was explaining to Connie about Alexis getting a court order to remove him from the ventilators and stuff like that, you know, I think Connie did the right thing by going back to the hospital and signing over the organ papers and all the documents that needed to be signed. And she did the right thing, you know, even though it was a hard thing to do. Of course, for any parent, it's hard to pull the plug on your child. It's very hard. But she did what she had to do, the only thing to do, and that was to let Trey go. And Sonny, you know, it was good that, you know, I love the scenes between Connie and Christina. Let me tell you something. I'm not, normally I can't stand the chick that played Christina, but I did love the scene between her and Connie, because they finally found some common ground, and they held hands and they went in and said goodbye to Trey, and then everybody surrounded Trey, and you know, he had, and Olivia saw, you know, he had an out-of-body experience where his body came, you know, where his spirit came out of his body. I think Ron and Frank did that justice, and I love the way they did it. I have to admit it. I loved it. I don't know about y'all, but I loved it. The way Trey died, he died peacefully and surrounded by family and friends. That's the way you're supposed to die. That's the cool way to die. Not getting shot up, stabbed, drowned, burned up, whatever. That's not the cool way to die. Being surrounded by your family and dying in peace, that's the way to go. That's the way I would want to die. Peacefully, with family around me. That's the way I want to go. You know, and I think they did it great. You know, and a lot of them said some kind words. Michael said that you finally got the attention that you wanted, and, you know, that you always wanted. So I thought, you know, I thought the way he passed was bittersweet. I loved it. You know, it was sad, of course, don't get me wrong, but it's cool to die at, you know, at peace, you know, in a peaceful manner with your friends and family. That's the way to go. I would love to go that way, like, seriously. Not anytime soon, of course, but one day when my time is up. But anyway, when Connie and Sonny left the bar, and Carly walk over, sit next to AJ, talking shit, of course. I'm like, why did you even sit next to him? Like, seriously. And you're, you know, running your mouth, talking about some, oh, you want one more one-night stand with me, Carly. Nobody would touch you with a 10-foot pole. Don't nobody want your drunk ass or your drunk coochie. Don't nobody want you. Please. With your drunk pussy, don't nobody want you. You're sitting here talking about some, oh, AJ want another one-night stand with you. Bitch, he don't want you. And him having sex with you all them years ago, the only good thing that came out of it was Michael. Please. If Michael wasn't a part of that deal, trust me, he would have regretted that. But Carly is just dumb. All she could do is talk about the past. When she was ready to go home or whatever, she talking about, oh, she gonna drive home, and then when he said, oh, you're gonna wrap your car around a tree or something, she talking about, yeah, like you did with Jason. I'm like, how many times are you gonna bring that up? The past is the past. I love the way AJ scooped her little drunk ass up and took her out the bar. I'm like, get rid of that. Get rid of her. That slush. Anyway, Sam and Danny scenes where she was holding a picture up of him and Jason together, I wanted to break down. I was like, oh my God. She only got 3 pictures of him and Jason together. That is so sad. But at least, you know, she got some pictures of the baby with Jason. You know what I'm saying? So when he grows up, he can go back and see who his father was. Then, of course, here comes Walking Dead John McBain. All smiling and all up in the baby face. I'm just not comfortable with him around Jason's son. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I mean, I would love for him and Sam to just be friends. You know what I'm saying? No relationship, none of that, no. Because they don't match up right. I just feel like she don't belong with John. He belonged with that little redhead back in Landview. So, I don't know who the hell John belonged with. I don't know. He's just so boring with any woman except Evangeline. I'm just saying. But I'm just not comfortable with him around Sam's son. Like, seriously, get the hell away from Jason's son, please. That baby is not going to grow up a McBain. I'll be damned if that happened. Get away from him. Please, that's Jason's son, and one day he will be back to reclaim his child and his wife. But I love the fact how John is there for her, you know, trying to be a friend, but damn, like, just don't do nothing extra. And I feel bad that Sam has to come with the terms that Jason is gone. I don't really believe he's dead, of course not, but she got to come with the terms. You know, I think Sam do have to accept it that he's gone and move on. You know, that's the part of moving on. The first part of moving on when you lose a spouse is the acceptance part. That's the first part of moving on, is the acceptance. Now that she's accepted it, now she can move on. And I love the way that she called Monica her mother-in-law. I loved it. And then when Monica showed up and Sam told John to stay for a minute or whatever, like, no. This is your time with your son and your mother-in-law. He need to bye-bye. You know, dismiss himself. But he, you know, stayed and he explained what Faison did and stuff like that. I felt bad for Monica, you know, because I could tell she really loved Jason. She adored Jason. Even though that wasn't her biological son, that was her son in every way that mattered. She was there for Jason no matter what. She didn't judge him. She didn't nothing. She was there for him. That was her son. You know, she didn't kick. When he became a part of the mob, she didn't tell him to stay away or nothing like that. He chose to kind of distance himself from Monica for her safety. Because, you know, enemies and stuff like that. So I could respect Jason on that level. Because he tried to do what was right for all family members and stuff that, you know, weren't affiliated with the mob to protect them. But Monica always welcomed him at the mansion. You know, she was a real mother to him. Always welcomed him at the mansion, never turned him away. And I love that about Monica. And I'm glad that her and Sam, you know, are planning to celebrate Jason's life and his memory by holding a memorial service for him to lay him to rest and, you know, stuff like that. And I love the words that you know, the advice Monica gave Sam about moving on, you know, because that's what Jason would want. If he was really gone, of course, that's what he would want. Is for her to find new love, get on with her life, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully have a father figure, you know, for Daniel, because, you know, he can't grow up without a father, you know what I mean? Every kid, I don't care what nobody say, every child needs a father. Or some type of role model in their life, you know, a male role model, especially boys, you know, so hopefully she find that right person. And then when Jason come back, they can resume their relationship. I didn't like the fact that John McBain was sitting there eavesdropping on the conversation. I'm like, mind your business. And then when Sam went to the bathroom, he's sitting there playing with Daniel. I just started to itch. I'm like, get away from him, for crying out loud. Anyway, Lucy Coe walks her ass into the Quartermaine mansion and got a key. If I was Monica, I would have slapped that bitch. I would have slapped the Coco Brown off of that bitch. I'm saying. Like, seriously. I love Lucy Coe, but damn, girl. Stop acting like you and... She act like her and Alan were married for years. I'm like, girl. Calling Tracy her sister-in-law. I'm like, you and Tracy were only married... I mean, you and Alan were only married for a month. Give or take. Girl. She's so aggravating. But I love Lucy Coe though. She's so slick. And then got the nerve to come up in that little red bathrobe. I was about to call it a jacket. But anyway, my mind is so who the hell do Tracy think she is, just offering people to stay at the mansion? I'm like, girl, that's Monica's mansion. What are you doing? Like, seriously, you just be inviting people. And then she got a nerve to cook some duck for Lucy Coe. I'm like, Tracy, no, her ass don't cook. Because at first I thought that food was catered. Because I'm like, Tracy don't cook. Unless it's rat poison. You already see that. She tried to poison Anthony last year. Tracy is so kiss ass. Like, seriously. And then Tracy with Michael and Starr. Ugh. I kind of like the scenes with Tracy and Michael and Starr when they were talking about Trey, and you know, she really felt bad that he was dead. She really did. She felt bad for the kid. Because she was close to Joe, you know, his father. A weird relationship, but whatever. Anyway, when Lucy Coe walked into the diner and saw John McBain, here she go, looking like she about to have a stroke, talking about some Caleb. I'm like, oh shit, here we go, this vampire bullshit. Caleb and Livy. I'm like, for crying out loud, RC, Frank, this is not Port Charles. I understand y'all want to give a little farewell, but this ain't Port Charles. This is GH. We don't need to see no vampires. Anyway, overall, I think this was a pretty good episode. Oh, Todd and Johnny. Oh my god, I didn't even talk about Todd and Johnny. ZACCARA beat the shit out of Johnny. Like, seriously beat the hell out of Johnny. I mean Todd. But of course it's a part of a plan for Todd to escape. Like the dumbass, I'm like, Todd, you have Diane as your attorney. You're not going to prison. Crazy. I'm like, y'all is not going to prison. Johnny may go to prison, but Todd ain't. Anyway, today's episode, it was pretty decent for Monday's episode. But anyway, I can't wait for tomorrow. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm out.